Alright, MrSotko here, and welcome back to another Warcraft 3 1 vs 1 replay, and today it is on Twisted Meadows between two very good players. Up north, we have our light blue undead player, Chun, and at the bottom here, we have our teal human player, Infi. We're going to go ahead and speed it up to about the 2-minute mark, and that's when everything gets interesting and where the heroes come out. And I'm guessing it's going to be an Archmage versus a Death Knight, so that is usually the way the setup goes. Everything's zooming around, get it back to 1 speed there. And we have Infi going immediately for the golem pack here. Scouting with a acolyte there. And just trying to get some information. However, he gives Infi just a little bit of experience, so I'm not sure if that was the best way to go. Didn't want to lose that for sure. And tanks all the damage with his water elemental there. However, he loses 1 militia, so not the greatest start. And here comes the Death Knight from Chun. Coming down to try and steal a kill, but he's going to be a little bit too late. And let's see what item the Archmage got. Has a Lion Horn of Stormwind, which is basically a Lion Horn of selling, because it's not the greatest item. Although 1 armor bonus to your units is okay. Typically the gold is worth a little bit more though. So now chasing down the Archmage. Looking to get a couple death coils on. Just lower his health just a little bit here. And now a skeleton minion causing some chaos. And just trying to run away from this Death Knight here. Just trying to get him away from the battlefield. And the 2 elementals all the way in the back here. Now killing that little critter there so that he can make 2 more skeletons with his Rod of Necromancy. And now using his Footman and a Water Elemental to take out this creep pack. Because when you only have 1, and stolen by that Death Coil there, so a little bit of experience stolen from the Death Knight, and when you only have 1 hero out in the field, your experience range is infinite. So you can do that with your troops and not have your hero anywhere near, and you will still get the experience. However, his experience was stolen from the Death Knight. Now, Crypt Fiend coming down. But Crypt Fiend's already going into Halls of Dead, and bringing up that Arcane Tower, so that to deny these Skeleton Warriors. Now trying to get some damage on this Crypt Fiend, however it's not going to last too long as the Death Knight can just simply Death Coil. So now going down here to these Ogre Magi. Going to start a fight down here, however it's going to be a heck of a fight. However, there's Militia coming down and the Death Knights here with looks like 4 Skeleton Minions. So we'll see how this plays out, see what kind of items drop, and see who can get the item, because it's going to be a battle for the item here. And the Death Knight will most likely try to Death Coil the very last. And stole that Troll Pack there. A little bit of experience for the Death Knight there was stolen. And now I'm guessing a Death Knight... Oh, actually, he got a surround on this Death Knight thanks to this Ogre Warrior. However, the Ogre Warrior now moves and releases the Death Knight there. However, he took quite a bit of damage in doing that, so he might actually have to get out of there now. But he's going to try and steal this with the Death Coil. As soon as it's low enough health, he does have enough for just 1 Death Coil here. And there are lots of low Militia and lots of low Peasants. So, lots of Peasants giving to the Death Knight. And indeed, he steals that Ogre Magi there. It looks like it dropped Boots of Speed. It's a very good item to be dropping, because he was probably going to buy one of those later on in the game anyway. And I'm sure the Archmage really wanted that Boots of Speed. And now the Archmage being chased around by these Skeleton Minions. And 2 Crypt Fiends down here at the battle as well. Archmage is very low on health, but so is the Death Knight. However, I think the Archmage is a little bit more in trouble right now, as the Death Knight can simply Death Coil sooner or later here. Gonna have to use the Scroll of Talon Portal as soon as the Death Coil starts to wind up. He does have enough for that Death Coil, uses that Talon Portal, and gonna go all the way back to base.
A player's forces are under attack.
However, he does not have a shop at his base. He has not built a shop yet, so he cannot use a Scroll of Healing. And back to the Undead base, we're still upgrading the Halls of Dead and bringing out a Ziggurat up top here. Now trying to build that human base down here, this expansion, which is typical for human players, as they bring down 5 peasants and just speed build a town hall. As humans typically rely on a little bit more income than the other races do. And usually you throw down some scout towers and get a couple of arcane towers and maybe a couple arrow towers as well to defend that spot.
Under attack.
Now Archmage being forced back from this Death Knight here, as the Death Knight has enough mana for another Death Coil. So we'll see what that gets used on, whether it gets used on eventually a Crypt Fiend if it gets too low, or the Archmage himself. So almost having this built. He's only got 1 peasant down here. He does have a couple of militia, although they are in militia form. So he's only got one peasant actually building, and now there's all these skeleton minions on this. Puts it in the mine there for a little bit of safety, and takes out that skeleton minion. Gives a little bit of experience to that Archmage.
A player's forces are under attack.
Now these two militia are going to be coming back here, peasants rather, to speed build this town hall. Almost completed. Now making an arcane tower too. It's going to take care of all those skeleton minions that are coming along. Also take care of the Death Knight. If it hits the Death Knight, will reduce his mana per hit. Now the Death Knight retreating from the expansion down there. Says he's had enough. Getting too boring down there for him. However, he's going to be coming back and maybe try and get a kill on this water elemental. He will get this water elemental. I'll put him about 2.5. 395 out of 500, so a little bit more than 2.5. So we have 6 footmen down here and the arcane tower. Going to be defending against these crypt fiends here. But he does have defend, which is a very good thing against these crypt fiends. However, sometimes it is a disadvantage to the footmen as they move just so much slower when they use defend. Second hero out for Chun is the Lich. One of my favorite heroes in the game. Always really enjoyed the Lich. And can be used one of two ways. You can either go Frost Nova on the Lich, or you can actually just simply go a ton of Frost Armor on the Lich and just give Frost Armor to all of your units. And the units that are currently being hit, and which provides an armor boost, but the best part about it is that it slows your enemies down. And destroyed one of those arcane towers as it was building there. Level 2 water elemental out now, as the Archmage is now level 3. To a level 2 Death Knight and a level 1 Lich. See if he's getting a second hero here. No, not just yet. But he may be going for a Tavern hero later on. We'll have to see what he does. Militia chasing down this obsidian statue. Definitely not going to be able to get that, though. Going to have to just chase these Crypt Fiends instead. Just trying to get a Crypt Fiend on the last one here. But really not going to be able to chase it down, so I'm going to have to just go back. And so just a big fight going on down here at the corner. So really nothing happening. Nobody really creeping. Just a battle going back and forth, as he doesn't want this human to get too much of an advantage here with this base as he's building it. Now he's got all these towers that are going to be coming up. And so this base will be secure at this point, and I really don't think he's going to be able to do anything down here anymore. So I think it would be his best interest to actually leave and begin creeping, since the human already has a big advantage down here. Just chasing each other back and forth, using defend, and sometimes it deflects attacks right back to these Crypt Fiends. And I cannot remember actually what the percentage of the deflect is, as it has been quite a long time since I've actually played the game on a regular basis. Level 2 water elemental out. Now I'm going to be starting chasing this undead player back a little bit. Trying to get around that Death Knight and soak it, but he's soaking up way too much damage, as the footman can't really do too much damage. Now bringing up all of his guard towers over here and upgrading to a keep. Just now has that arcane bolt up, so he can start using Scroll of Regenerations and Lesser Clarity Potions. Now 2 destroyers out on the field, so Chun having a big advantage right off the start, having these 2 destroyers, as Infi has no real way to deal with these other than his water elementals and the Archmage himself.
The town is under siege.
However, the destroyers really don't have any magic to be found on the map so far, so they have nothing to consume. But even still, they were pretty annoying, as the Archmage really doesn't have too much to do against it. So instead, he leaves the base, and now he's going to go assault the undead base here. But until then, we will see the destruction of this base, as he has many guard towers being brought up. However, they are very weak as they are being built until they're actually secure and have that heavy armor. But going to take out this water elemental. He's going to have to get out of here. He does have a Scroll Town portal, so he can come up there any time. So he's not in too much danger right now. Trapping a ghoul there. Going to get this ghoul kill, putting the Archmage at about 3.5. Now going after a second ghoul here. It looks like he will get that, as the ghoul is just simply buying time for his base. Now going after some of these acolytes. I think he should have gone after these acolytes right at the start. Going to lose some of these footmen in the process to these destroyers, as they came up and took out about 2 of them right off the bat. Undead still hacking away at the human base here. Getting a little tongue-tied there. And the Mountain King is coming out, but it is not going to make it in time, as it's only halfway done. So he goes ahead and cancels that Mountain King. Now he's going to go to the tavern, perhaps, and get a tavern hero instead. Gets the Pandar and Brewmaster instead of the Mountain King. as the Altar of Kings is just about to fall for the human player. Now scattering out away from these destroyers. Destroyers just chasing down individual footmen. So Infi having a hard time with those destroyers. Those were actually some pretty early destroyers, if you ask me, in the game. It's giving these footmen a very hard time as they have no way to deal with it other than the Archmage and his water elementals themselves. Now bringing up 2 Arcane Sanctums, speed building these, and they did get built. I don't think the Undead really even noticed, or he didn't really care that these were being built. Now bringing out Spellbreakers, so they will be immune to those destroyers, and will also at the same time do very good damage to these Crypt Fiends. Breath of Fire there on all these Obsidian statues, doing pretty good damage on all of them, weakening them a tiny bit. Now bringing out a second destroyer here. And the Pandarin Brewmaster is in big trouble, but has a Boots of Speed, so he gets out of there very quickly. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability on the Archmage, just in case anything bad happens there. Maybe should go on the Pandarin Brewmaster at his low health at the moment. Level 3 Death Knight and a level 1 Lich for the Undead. A level 1 Pandarin Brewmaster to a level 3 and, well, about 4/5 Archmage. So soon the human player Infi will have a slight hero advantage, but not too much. Actually, now the Lich is level 2. Now bringing out these Spellbreakers, just came out. And I'm going to go instantly at those Crypt Fiends there. Bringing out some Skeleton Minions. Now instead of using Water Elementals, he actually switched his skills. Now is using the Blizzard skill to just hit all of those Obsidian statues and those spiders when they are grouped up. Pandarin Brewmaster may fall, only has 4 health here. And so he's in a very big trouble spot here. Should get that Potion of Invulnerability on that Panda, but decides to just keep it on his Archmage instead. 2 Scout Towers coming up, and a Death Coil hits that Pandarin Brewmaster, losing that Pandarin Brewmaster. So it's a very good hit for Chun's Death Knight there. However, before the Pandarin Brewmaster fell, he brought up 2 Guard Towers, Ivory Towers there, but he's going to have to cancel these as they're just going to take way too much damage. Now Infi in a big trouble spot here. Doesn't have too much to defend his base. Only can Blizzard on these troops when they're clustered up like that, which does huge damage, but it's just really not enough at the moment, losing so many peasants. However, he does have this expansion down here, so he does have quite a bit of income compared to the Undead player. Now popping that Potion of Invulnerability on the Archmage here. Now building an Arcane Vault in the back here so he can start using Potions of Clarity and Scrolls of Healing. Regeneration, rather, but it heals either way. Now just taking out this tower, just biding his time, trying to stay away from these towers here. Just using the range ability. Doesn't want to bring up his Death Knight there because it's going to get hit by 5 towers at once. Going to take some pretty big damage. So he's just going to stay back and let the spiders do the work, and the destroyers. Now an Abomination out for Chun. I believe that's Chun. Actually, I don't really speak too much Chinese and Korean and things like that, so I assume that's Chun. Or perhaps Hyun. But who knows? Either way, you get the point. It is the Undead player. Now Infi hitting big groups of units here with Blizzard. Doing some pretty big damage, but still, again, not just enough, as the regeneration rate from the level 1 Unholy Aura is pretty much taking care of that. Archmage in a pretty bad spot here. Getting healed up by Priest. Has a Potion of Healing on hand, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. So he's in a big trouble spot here, and doesn't have his second hero, is unable to get his second hero. Now reviving the Pandarin Brewmaster. Actually built an Altar of Kings in the back, didn't really notice that. Has a Goblin Shredder to gather wood for himself, and Goblin Shredder is just about as effective as a Knight, approximately, in its terms of its battle prowess. Still mining just fine down here, so quite a bit of income still for the human player, even though he's been under assault this entire time. And putting Blizzards down on this huge group. Lich actually taking quite a bit of damage, actually requiring a Death Coil there, because he was standing in the full wave of that Blizzard. Undead now moving over slightly to the right, gonna start beating away on this Arcane Sanctum here. Pandarin Brewmaster is out, but took a huge wave of damage from all those spiders and destroyers at the same time there. So took a good chunk of his health, but he'll be just fine with that Priest there.
A player's forces are under attack.
Now bringing up a few more towers here to guard this left side, as it was just totally open, and putting a lumber mill right in front to make it a little bit harder to get to those scout towers. Oh, found a meat wagon in transit here, so this is a pretty good luck of fortuitous luck. for Infi, so that is a free kill there. Now we have a level 4 Archmage and a level 1 Pander and Brewmaster, and the Undead player just farmed out this, and let's see what he got. He got a Rune Bracers, which are typically really good. I enjoy the Rune Bracers, but sometimes people sell those, and in the sense that they just don't feel that they need them, as it really only affects skills, like magic-based skills, such as the Breath of Fire, and typically that's not too much of a problem on heroes. A Claws of Attack +9 for that Pander and Brewmaster, not bad. And we'll see what items are dropping up here. We have a Scroll of the Beast, and looks like a Gauntlets of Ogre Strength +3 there for the Pander and Brewmaster, which is also the 3rd hero for the Undead player. So 2 heroes for the human player and 3 for the Undead, you know, picking up a Pander and Brewmaster himself. And he has those Gauntlets of Ogre Strength and Rune Bracers, so a very tough Pander and Brewmaster here. Now moving over to the right side here, may start to get this Forest Troll Warlord pack here. However, the Destroyers are harassing the human base, but they're not going to get too far, as this can be just repaired back up. And I don't know if he's going to be able to destroy this in time before the Undead's going to get back. And the Undead's going to do some pretty big damage by the time he gets this destroyed here. So let's see how this plays out. And if he can get a really good item, that may just turn the tables on the Undead player as when he decides to Scroll of Town Portal back, which I believe he has a Scroll of Town Portal. Indeed, he does. So he will be using that as soon as this pack is cleared. And so far, some decent damage going down on the human base. This tower is in big trouble. However, it's being repaired back up. Let's see what dropped. Looked like a tome, and let's see, a Amulet of Spell Shield for that Pander and Brewmaster. Not too bad. So if a Death Coil is used on that Pander and Brewmaster, when that Spell Shield is up, it will just completely negate it, which will do. Actually, it's pretty awesome, because then the Death Knight will actually have to wait for the entire cooldown to go back again to actually use it again. The Archmage was the only one that teleported back. The Archmage had teleported back to Blizzard, while the rest of the team is trying to find more creeps, but however, he goes to this mercenary camp, and there are no creeps there, but he may be able to get some mercenaries from that if the Undead did not. It doesn't look like he did. And a quick Death Coil on that Crypt Fiend there just barely saved it, as it was very, very low in health. Expansion going down for the Undead player up in the corner here. And Destroyers flying out through the map, looking for the rest of the human army, as he says, hey, that's not their whole entire army here. And now, but now he definitely knows where that army is, as it's completely in his base. And the Archmage here doing actually a really good job of defending his base by himself, just pummeling Blizzard after Blizzard on this army, so doing huge damage to all these troops, which is very hard to heal up for the Undead player. But the fact that they regenerate quickly is nice, but when all these units are messed up for the Undead player, it's hard for him to Death Coil those. Now teleporting back to his base here, right next to the Arcane Vault here, so he can do a Scroll of Regeneration, and a Paladin out for Infi here, and I didn't even see him bring that out. Workshop is in trouble here, almost destroyed. Getting hit by this meat wagon here, don't think it's going to last. One peasant is not enough to keep that workshop up. Now forcing these Undead to back up and continuously move with this Blizzard here, and Paladin was trying to get out there, but he couldn't get around the Archmage there. Breath of Fire goes on those units, a pretty decent hit there. And now forcing away the Undead. He's going to move over to the right side, maybe go creep or attack these Arcane Sanctums, but nope, decides to get out of the base entirely. Another Workshop coming back up. But he locked himself in there, and so he has to put that Workshop in a slightly better position. Undead player going to the bottom right side, as this bottom right side drops pretty good items, and so all the players really want to get rid of these, and he sees that the Archmage had already taken care of that, or Infi rather, as a whole. And now the Undead expansion in a little bit of trouble here. Now farming out this Rock Golem here, and see what this drops for the Undead player. Anything good, anything good, and we have a Potion of Invulnerability, which is very, very good, and a Mantle of Intelligence should go to that Lich. And now heading towards the Undead base once again for Infi. And the Undead player still searching for creep camps here, and starts up that creep camp, but I'm not sure if he's going to stay. Indeed, he's going to stay and let Infi actually assault his base, and then he will teleport later. And Boots of Kalthos dropped a pretty good item, but not so good for any of the Undead heroes so far, as none of them are agility based. So probably going to sell that in a quick hurry at some point. Or he may hold on to it, but I don't see why he would. I think the money would be better spent than the +6 agility. Now coming down here to this Null Overseer pack. Gonna get a little bit more experience from this. Trying to get his heroes all up as fast as possible. And let's see. I did not see what dropped. Looked like... Yep, Gloves of Haste dropped. Put that on the Lich as he is ranged. And typically you want to put those on the range here, unless you have a Blade Master, of course, or a Demon Hunter. Because the range hero is sitting back and attacking much more than a melee hero. And there goes that Amulet of Spell Shield. That Rock Golem tried to throw a rock and stun that Pandaren Brewmaster. However, that Amulet of Spell Shield denied that. And the Undead player is actually going up here to this expansion here to creep that out. And we'll see what drops. The Tome of Agility and a Flute of Accuracy. Not the greatest item, although it does help all of his Spellbreakers, so actually pretty decent. And it does help the Elementals should the Archmage go back to using Elementals. Force Toad Roller dies. An Orb of Darkness, not a very bad item, actually brings up Dark Minions when you use a killing blow on an enemy, similar to the Dark Ranger. Pretty much exactly like the Dark Ranger, actually. Looks like the human player, Infi, is going to this Null Overseer camp. Or not. Actually going to juke me and not going to go there. Looks like both of the armies are going to meet each other head on here in the center. And Chun does see Infi here and chasing him down. Gonna get a free priest kill there. Free priest kill. Always nice. And the Paladin is now in trouble. And trying to run for his life there, but just can't run any faster. So now we'll see how Infi defends his base for the umpteenth time there. And there goes that Orb of Darkness, bringing up a lesser Dark Minion there. So free Dark Minions. So indeed not a bad item. And it gives some extra damage, 6 bonus damage. Fairly rare item. Don't see Orb of Darkness all that much. Frostworms and Destroyers out for Chun here. So big damage going down on the human base, and he's bringing out Flying Machines to try and deal with all that air, but he's just not going to be able to get enough out, as he does have about 6 or 7 of them, which would seem like enough, but they are very, very weak. So we'll see how they play out. But he does have that Flute of Accuracy. He did keep that Flute of Accuracy, which pretty much gives all the damage to virtually all the human units on the field right now, as Spellbreakers are indeed ranged. He's just waiting for a good opportunity to use these Flying Machines. Also building Flying Machines out of the workshop down here, building a second workshop now. And Infi just under constant siege by this Undead player. And he brought up his units a little too far forward there and took a big hit by all these Flying Machines. But the Frostworm has so much health, didn't really matter all that much. And the Death Knight does have plenty of mana for Death Coils. So hitting that Frostworm will just result in a Death Coil. But you do have to lower that Death Knight's mana somehow. Now going after the Arcane Sanctums, does have the safety over here. No tower can really hit him. One is firing at his Abomination, but that Abomination just shrugging that off. Doesn't really care about that. Now bringing out some Militia, looks like. Just one Militia. He's got this situation. Yeah, he's got it. No need to worry anymore. The Militia has the situation under control. Arcane Sanctum down to about half health, so probably going to lose this Arcane Sanctum. No real way to repair that up. And the Undead has actually expanded over here, now bringing over a group of 5 Acolytes to take over that mine. No, big Battle Acorn, now just pushing forward and going right for it now, and bringing up his Flying Machines, trying to take out that Frostworm, and he's going to take out that Frostworm before the Death Coil hits, so the big loss for the Undead player there, losing that Frostworm. That Death Coil just 1 second off. And now these Destroyers are going to take huge damage from all these Flying Machines. All the Destroyers just getting wasted. Looks like he's about to lose all of them. However, he teleports back as he was about to lose all of his units there. As you can see, they're all very, very low health. However, they are mechanical, so they do not receive the benefit of a Scroll of Regeneration. Not that I remember, although again, has been a very long time since I played. I think it was the last time I played a lot and competitively was in 2008, so you can see how long ago that was for me. I played from about 2002 to 2008, so about 6 years of my life was dedicated to Warcraft 3. But not for a long time, as I got into StarCraft 2, and then yada yada.
A town is
time.
under siege.
You know how that goes. Now, Infi seeking out his next move here.
Under attack.
He sees where Chun is, and because of all of his Flying Machines, he can see what's going on. Now going to go right for this Haunted Gold Mine. But looks like he may not actually have the... It does indeed have the bomb upgrade. So Infi now going for the undead base here, as the undead goes for all of these flying machines, but he's seen that they were coming, so gets out of there, just flies right over the tree line. Infi now expanding where the undead once was, throwing up a couple guard towers in the way there. Now blizzarding all these structures. Blizzard does affect structures, so all you have to do is just drop some blizzard on a thick group of structures here, and will do a huge amount of damage. And it does not affect his spellbreakers, so why not just drop it all over these spellbreakers? Who cares, as they are completely immune. Gonna take care of that necropolis there, and gonna just teleport right out. So he did what he wanted to do, and now he's out of there, as this is the only undead source of income now. So he has to really watch out for this, because these flying machines could do some pretty good damage while he isn't looking. And repairing up these two guard towers here, there's nothing going on here except these two guard towers, just taking the attention of this meat wagon. Now a battle going on over here. Undead is going for the human expansion that's going up here, and Infi really needs to stop this, as his expansion probably doesn't have too much left. Yeah, only has 200 gold left, so he definitely needs the second expansion. And Spellbreaker's taking a pretty big beating from all of those abominations. It looks like the Spellbreakers are affected by the disease, even regardless of them being immune to magic. Panda shooting some fire right in the face of that abomination, but doesn't really do too much of the abominations, just a little too hardy. Panda and Brewmaster almost level 4, so any troop that dies on the map is gonna definitely, level that Panda and Brewmaster to level 4. So that will not be too bad for Infi to have a level 4 Panda Brewmaster. And Paladin is taking big trouble, and let's see if he has. It did not have Divine Shield up, and I'm not sure if he actually took Divine Shield or not, but he didn't have it up at the time. Now all these flying machines just were hitting those destroyers there, did some pretty big damage. Took about a quarter of its health off there, I'd say, maybe a third. And Panda selling something there, and trying to get away, as the undead just doesn't really have too much left here. Just has a group of obsidian statues, which I'm sure Infi would love to get a hold of those. Easier said than done. I'm gonna go around the corner here and start going at the undead. Doesn't have his paladin any longer, is reviving it at the Altar of Kings, but that's gonna take some time. So we'll see how that plays out, and in the end. Now, Chun is actually revealed because he does not have a necropolis on the screen, and so he brings one up there and going to start taking away his revealing from Infi. Expansion has gone up here in the bottom right corner. However, Chun is coming right at it and is going to start doing some damage, so Infi's going to have to come down here and take care of this, as all these peasants are in trouble. First thing he's going to go for is these guard towers, and then these peasants, worth quite a bit of experience, all these little peasants here. Although it may not, definitely won't level up his heroes, as his heroes need quite a bit of experience to level up at the moment. But Infi just going right for the undead base, and using Blizzard on all these Ziggurats and Nerubian towers, and doing huge damage to him. Going to lose those in a quick heartbeat. This Archmage going to chase down this Acolyte here. All the Acolytes now scattering. Using Blizzard on him, almost got all those Acolytes, and just going to get those Acolytes with auto attacks. Now going to take away this kind of gold mine. However, the undead is coming, and so going to trap the human player in the back here, and I'm not sure. Archmage just barely makes it out alive with that Staff of Sanctuary, and all the Spellbreakers are on their own, running for their lives there. So pretty good game so far, back and forth. Pretty tight for economic play, as both players desperately need money and desperately need to hold on to these gold mines here. And now just bringing out peasants once more. Only 46 gold for Infi, so he definitely needs to hold on to this, and that's a big problem, losing this peasant here to those ghouls. And Chun has a little bit more money at about 272. So this is about all Infi has at this moment. And we'll see how he can get a little bit more money out on the field. He needs to
forces are under attack.
secure his expansion now, bringing up peasants here. And they are in transit, and he's going to lose all these peasants to Chun. Now selling some items, getting a little bit of extra gold in place of not having any peasants any longer. So was forced to sell some items there so that he could make some additional peasants later on. Acolyte was coming down here. I'm not sure what he was going to do, as there's some Ogre Magi in his way, and that Acolyte won't be able to handle those on his own. Now Chun being revealed once more. And again, just all apologies in case I'm not saying his name right, but y'all get the point. And if I'm not, just say in the comments what the proper pronunciation of the name is, and then that way I'll know in the future. And we'll have to annoy you guys with my poor pronunciation. Flying Machine's taking out this Acolyte, free Acolyte kill. And Water Elemental, looked like he actually switched back to Water Elementals. I'm not sure if he just has Water Elementals and Blizzard, but he may have switched his skills all the way back to getting Water Elementals once again. Now a Goblin Zeppelin out for Infi, and we'll see what he's going to do with this. And indeed, he's going to go over here, and this is sort of an uncommon thing to see, is a player actually going over to these islands here and taking out these dragons and such. That typically doesn't happen a lot. Either that or the game doesn't last long enough for this to happen, as it is sort of a dangerous thing, as this red dragon does huge damage and can actually consume troops as well. And he's really relying on the fact of these flying machines to take down this dragon here. The dragon does chaos damage, and indeed it does about 48 to 81 chaos damage, and to air it does about 48 to 72, a little bit less. And the paladin got the item a spiked collar, so not the greatest item for that paladin. Could have been better. However, the best benefit from that was all of the experience to all the heroes. Level 4 Panda, level 5 Lich, and a level 5 Death Knight moving out across the map. So I think he has superior levels on his heroes. And I'm not sure where these flying machines are going. We'll see. And looks like they're just going to harass some of this base here. Take out some of these ziggurats. And now this Goblin Zeppelin is also moving to the other corner. Going to get that other corner of troops, of creeps here, and get a little bit more experience. But he's going to have all of his flying machines come around. Problem was, this Pandarin Brewmaster, as you can see, there are many, many less flying machines, so what I suspect is this Pandarin Brewmaster used a Breath of Fire and destroyed the majority of those flying machines. Unfortunately, Infi is all the way on the right side of the right corner of the map, and it looks like Chun is maybe going down to this base here. He's going to check this out.
A player's forces are under
maybe
attack.
buy a Goblin Zeppelin of his own, and then try and check out the corners. Indeed, grabbing up all of his troops there. If he would have went for his base, he could have probably did some pretty good damage behind him. Now he's going to check this corner here. He's going to be very disappointed at this corner, as it's already cleared out by Infi. And the only thing able to attack this dragon here is the Archmage and the Water Elemental. So this is going to be a while here. The Archmage has his work cut out for him attacking this dragon here. However, 3 flying machines coming to the rescue here and going to help with some damage on that dragon. It looks like Chun is going to go all the way to the other corner and take out his dragon of his own. So we'll see what this dragon drops for Infi. And sooner or later here will go down. There it goes. Okay, we have a Potion of Restoration. And I didn't really see the other item. I did, but I didn't really get a good glance at it. I don't think it was that important. But the Potion of Restoration is a very good potion. I think it's 500 health and like 200 mana. So not too bad, especially on an Archmage that would need to regenerate his mana or health. Or both, in that sense. Now going to take out these ogres here with his 3 heroes. Level 3 Paladin, a level 4 Panda, and level 5 Archmage. Indeed, it was a Wand of Illusion, so nothing too crazy there, but very useful item. maybe a claws of attack plus 9 on that panda there. I believe that's what that was. Undead now going after this Ogre Magi camp. And see what drops for him. It looks like a Tome of Intelligence. And from the Ogre Magi there, Perfect Vitality for that Death Knight. You can either put that on the Death Knight or the Panda Brewmaster. Either way will be good. Now going to go after this Rock Golem camp. And we'll see who gets the final camp over here in the corner. At this point, it's going to be sort of a hard decision who's going to actually get that or not. Now, Archmage just running around here because it cannot get additional experience from this group here, so he should stay away. Going to finish off this Rock Golem. Tome of Strength plus 2, and looks like a Belt of Giant Strength, so not too bad. A pretty good drop there. So I believe it was a Tome of Strength plus 2 and a Belt of Giant Strength with a total of 8 strength for one of the heroes. And now indeed going to that corner, but maybe deciding against it as he doesn't really have enough to do it. As he sees that Chun has a pretty formidable force here. But actually going back the other way. And Chun just cannot find Infi on the map right now. But lo and behold, Infi is over here in the corner, about to take care of these dragons. But it's going to take a very long time, as there's going to be no assistance from flying machines this time. Nope, going to just actually, he was just checking to see if Chun was there. But he is not. Now taking care of this little tiny knoll camp here. Not going to do too much for his experience, as all of his heroes are level 5. So not really too useful there. Now working away on this haunted gold mine. However, the Panda Brewmaster teleported there with the Staff of Teleportation. And now is in a little bit of trouble here as he may get surrounded. Nope, not going to get surrounded. Goblin Zeppelin in trouble, though. Should fly up here a little bit for a little bit of safety there. However, the Destroyer and the Frostworm, I'm going to chase it down eventually. I'm now trying to get out of here. Just going to scroll Town Portal out of here. Going to disturb all these golems here. And now Chun is going to take care of these golems and see what kind of item he gets out of these golems. If it's anything useful. It looks like only a Mantle of Intelligence on that Death Knight. Scourge Bone Chimes and a Tome of Experience, so not too bad. Gives that Tome of Experience to that Lich there. 100 experience. Now bringing over a peasant over to this gold mine, which is a pretty clever idea. Again, you really don't see this too often on this map, as it's really just sort of a pain to get over here. And he's probably going to set up an expansion. Indeed, sets an expansion right here. And that's going to be a very, very secure expansion. Other than the fact that he does have a Frostworm and some Destroyers. But that might not be too much of a problem if you just throw some towers. And hopefully because I don't think he actually got the Frozen Frostworm upgrade that freezes towers and buildings. I'm not entirely sure if he actually got that upgrade or not. But if he did not, then those towers can actually defend against that Frostworm. But if he did, then towers are going to be in trouble. Now scattering out all of his forces, checking for Chun, and seeing what's going on. And this actually was never taken by Chun. I thought he actually got this. I thought he was going to actually go over there, but no, he did not. So these two remain on the map.
Town is under siege
and are going to get scouted out sooner or later here. The Zeppelin for Infi is coming up here and going to check this corner out and dropping off his troops, getting ready here, and indeed going after these dragons. And that red dragon swallowed up one of those spell breakers, slowly digesting that. And Chun really doesn't know what's going on. Oh, indeed, he does see what's going on. And bringing his Destroyer and his Frostworm over there. Now loading up all of his heroes inside this Zeppelin. So it's going to be a chaotic battle here. Infi's in for some trouble, as all these troops are going to be on Infi, and these dragons going to be attacking him too. And takes out all those dragons with a Breath of Fire. So a pretty good hit there. Now trying to get some damage on. Oh, destroys that Zeppelin. So now he is trapped up there. However, he has a Scroll Town Portal. So he is sort of lucked out there that he has that Scroll Town Portal. Otherwise, he would have been in big trouble. And I'm not even sure how he would have gotten out of there had he not have a Scroll Town Portal. Now, Chun is going to get this, and it was a stone token and a Wand of Lightning Shield, so a Wand of Gold, basically. Unless I suppose you can use that in a few situations. and a stone token. So not too bad, the stone token. Whip out a golem, and the golem, I believe the golem, again, it has been a long time for me, but the golem, I think, can war stomp, and it can throw a rock that does like 100 damage or something like that, and it stuns for a couple seconds as well. So not too bad of a summon, but he may choose to sell that. I'm not really sure what he's going to do with it. And at this point in the game, with nobody having any money at all, he may indeed sell that. Now Infi coming up here, maybe going to the shop here. I thought maybe he was going to this top corner to check that out and just to see if there was an expansion going on there. Panda Brewmaster now heading up to the undead base. And both the Panda Brewmaster are going to spot each other. This one has a little bit more experience, but not that big a deal. Both of them have very similar items as well. Except this one just happens to have a Circle of Nobility. Both sides very, very low on resources. Again, only 56 gold for Infi. And we'll see for Chun here, he has 148, but he has really no way to gain any more money on the map. I don't think he has any acolytes, so he can't even build another haunted gold mine, nor can he sell off some of his buildings like Undead can do. So he's in trouble. All these units are his final units, so he has to, every unit that he will lose will hurt him big. And this Goblin Zeppelin is being chased down by this flying machine here. Doesn't want to see, he definitely doesn't want to give away that he has an expansion down here. That would be pretty bad. However, I think this Goblin Zeppelin is going to spot it eventually. Maybe. We'll see how that goes. But a little bit of battle going on here. Some water elementals now out in the field. And he did switch to water elementals instead of blizzard, which is a pretty good idea. When you don't have any money, you can continuously bring out water elementals for free. At just the cost of mana, which always regenerates. Your money doesn't.
A player's forces
Throwing a death coil there, hitting the paladin there in the back. And the water elementals took refuge up there in the corner there. Somehow didn't get spotted. And uses a staff of sanctuary on that paladin, sends him on home. And the Panda Brewmaster is now moving out. Not sure what the Panda's going to do by himself, but we'll see. And actually uses that staff of sanctuary on himself to take care of this ghoul here, as the ghoul is running around, being a little bit of a nuisance, trying to take care of some of those peasants, but just don't think he's going to be able to do it because... Oh, and now actually brings in... Uses a staff of teleportation onto that ghoul there. Now brings out a rock golem, so the Archmage is actually in pretty big trouble here. Rock golem used that rock skill, and... However, the paladin is right on the side here, and going to get picked up by that Zeppelin, and going to get out of there. Now, the undead is in a little bit of trouble as there's two water elementals. And the Panda Brewmaster now on the field here at the bottom. And now the Paladin and the Archmage are out as well. So, actually finally using that Wand of Lightning Shield. And this is where a Wand of Lightning Shield is actually pretty good in a group of peasants like that. Golem in trouble here. Got killed by the group of heroes here. And needs to get that peasant out of there. I'm surprised he didn't do that sooner, but he was a little bit busy with that golem. And this Death Knight's in a little bit of trouble. I don't think there's anything on the field. I don't think he has a... No, he actually got there with a Staff of Teleportation, so eventually he will use the Staff of Teleportation, but I think for now, he's just sort of juking around Infi and just wasting some time. Two Spellbreakers here, just going to go after that ghoul. And now a Destroyer coming down to help out this Death Knight. And the Death Knight's in big trouble. Going to lose that Death Knight. Couldn't really stuff teleportation out of there. And chasing this Frostworm away as well. So this Town Hall is in really good shape. I think Infi is in really, really good shape now, as Chun cannot buy anything anymore, as he just doesn't have any money. He doesn't have any way to have any income. He doesn't have any acolytes out on the field. So he only has 148 remaining. Now Infi getting on out of there, dropping back his troops off on the land over here. However, the Destroyer and the Frostworm are dedicated to harass this Town Hall, and indeed going to do just that. However, Infi already got about 800 gold out of it. The Water Elemental is here. Going to get a few hits on it before it despawns there. Well, 3 or 4 hits there. So a little bit of damage on that. Panda Brewmasters chasing each other. And one's running, one's hitting. And up here we have 2 Spellbreakers attacking just the base there. And now all the forces combining here, all the heroes coming back. Crypt Fiends, Obsidian Statues, and one Abomination. So, big army still for the undead player. But just remember that every troop he loses is his last troop, as he cannot build anything else from this point on. Although I suppose he could sell items and get a troop, get a couple get a couple units with his troop sold item money. But that's about it. And now the Destroyer and the Frostworm attacking this Town Hall needs to defend that Town Hall because he can go right back to it and start producing right out of it again. He is down to 191, so he bought some troops somewhere. I don't really see where he actually got anything. He has a peasant down here now. Gonna maybe walk it over there and start an expansion. Not really sure. And I'm not sure where they... Okay, the Brood Master is here. So he has all three heroes still out. And for the undead players, the Panda Brewmaster and the Lich and cannot afford... Actually, just barely afforded his Death Knight back. And he was a 31 on this Altar of Darkness. So lucked out a lot on that Altar of Darkness. Could have lost that. And his ability to resurrect that Death Knight. Must have sold a couple items in order to do that. Yeah, indeed. The Panda Brewmaster has no items now. So must have sold those. I believe he had a Circlet of Nobility and some Boots of Speed before this. Almost lost that that Frostworm. Needs to get that Frostworm for sure. Because it will just be revived. It will just be healed, rather, by Death Coils from the Death Knight as soon as he is resurrected. And it looks like the Death Knight is out now. Indeed, going directly after that Frostworm. Gonna throw a level 3 Death Coil at that. And indeed, almost full health from one hit there. About 600 health healed on that. I think that was a level 3, I'm not sure. Either way, Death Coil on that Frostworm, it'll be back to full health very, very soon. And I'm not sure what happened here. I don't think the Goblin Zeppelin, there it is. I thought it was missing off the map there. Archmage running around alone out here. Putting water elementals in his place. So a bit of a stalemate game going on now. As both sides really don't have much to attack each other with. However, Infi is the only one with income remaining.
A player's forces are under
because
attack.
He got this super secure island base, and the only reason why it has been harassed so far is the last remaining Destroyer and the Frostworm, which is that looks like it's actually going back to begin harassment again. Water Elemental dying, giving a little bit of experience to that Lich and Panda. Archmage running around the map looking for any signs of an expansion or easily killed troops such as this ghoul here. And gets a kill on that, gets a little bit of experience from that. And indeed that Frostworm is coming back and takes out that Goblin Zeppelin. So a pretty good kill there to stop Infi from using that Goblin Zeppelin to move over across this little way here. And now the Frostworm is back on the map here. Gonna start harassing this base once more. So both sides are going to be left with no income ability. The difference between Infi and Chun, though, however, is that Infi does have these peasants and has the money to buy a peasant. Actually has a town hall to buy peasants with. He has multiple town halls across the map. And Chun does not have a necropolis, so he can't even build a acolyte if he wanted to. And this Frostworm juking out Infi here, juking him back and forth. And I don't think this match is going to go on all that much longer. Sooner or later, somebody's got to realize that they cannot really beat each other, or at least I think Infi has the advantage here, and that Chun has no way to build any additional units. So eventually, as long as Infi just continues mining here, he's going to be able to build his whole force back up and take him out. Now the Panda Brewmaster over here, causing some trouble here. And Panda's going to go all the way over here, drop some booze on these peasants, and light them up if he can. Indeed, he has full mana, so probably going to do just that. Doesn't actually bother with the booze, just goes wait for the Breath of Fire. Takes out a bunch of them,
A player's forces are under
causing
attack.
Infi to spend his hard-earned money back on peasants once more. And the Paladin over here, just waiting for any low-health heroes just to walk over here and heal them. And now the Panda has no way out of here. And gonna lose that Panda, and that may be GG. Now a few flying machines out on the map. He pulled out a few more flying machines just to defend this from that pesky Frostworm that keeps coming in. And indeed, now has 4 of them, and this should be enough to take out this Frostworm. Now 2 elementals and the hero hitting on it. And he actually uses a Holy Light on there, too. A very good move. Holy Lighting. A couple hundred damage there on that. And I'm not really sure where the... Okay, they pulled back just because he needs a little bit more numbers in them flying machines to be able to handle that. Takes out that water elemental, too. And the Death Knight over here just able to heal up his troops. And he has a Paladin over here to heal up his own troops. And Infi is the winner of the game, as the undead player just simply didn't have any more resources to build any more troops. So whatever he lost for good. But I hope you guys enjoyed this replay, and I will see you guys next time.